Thank you so much for the invitation to moderate this great panel. Effie, Adoni, esteemed guests and partners, it's my pleasure to be here with you today. My name is Alexandros Nousias and I'm the Managing Director of Involve Entrepreneurship, a non-profit organization supporting startups through multiple ways, founder support, upskilling and business innovation since 2012. Let me introduce our great panelists from this first panel today. I have with me Mr. Leonidas Papacharisi, scientific consultant at Hellenic Aquaculture Producers Organization, among other hats he wears. Mr. Vlasis Tsezos, CEO at AgriTrack, next to me, and Mr. Ioannis Jovenis, founder at Microficos. So I would like to, if you would like as well, to begin with a quick introduction of yourselves and the organizations you represent here today. Yeah, of course.
So, good afternoon. Okay, good afternoon. Okay? Okay. My name is Yannis Jovenis. I am working with algae. Okay. In the context of aquaculture, but yet the core business is algae. I started very early with spirulina, and nowadays we are working with my team on developing systems for phytoplankton production in aquaculture context for hatcheries, but also for seaweeds in IMTA and pure cultivation, developing projects for algae and bringing also new products, trying to bring new products in the market. Our biggest, let's say, achievement was spirulina, all these years in Greece, and also phytoplankton in hatcheries, although this is going to be replaced nowadays. We have new things coming. So this is from me, please. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Thank you for the invitation in this interesting discussion. My name is Leonidas Papacharisis. I'm an ichthyologist. I'm working in the aquaculture sector for the last 27 years. And I'm a collaborator and member of scientific team of HAPO. HAPO is the Hellenic Aquaculture Producer Organization, consisted of 22 members, both big corporates but also small-scale fish farmers are partners in this organization, representing more than 80% of the national production on sea bass and sea bream, on marine species. The aim of the scientific and technical team of HAPO is to support the organization and the producers on new developments, on studies that are relevant for the sector, for to address new demands of legislation and how the sector will comply with these, implementing drafting new strategies for mainly for technical issues. And all those years, we had the opportunity to expand further the production capabilities with new studies about the environmental impacts, with the license of farming of new species, with new studies regarding the environmental footprint, and provide to the producers solid knowledge, new knowledge about the things that are coming. This is from my side.
Hello, it's a big pleasure for me to be here. I'm really excited to be part of the panel and with my esteemed colleagues. My name is Vlasis. I am the CEO and co-founder of AgriTrack. AgriTrack is a startup, so that differentiates us, and we have built a software that specializes in aquacultures. We are also one of the few United Nations COP28 climate innovators. So what does our software do? It's a platform that, in essence, tries to reduce food losses and costs, and at the same time better monitor quality for aquacultures. How do we do that? There are 3 levers of our solution. Lever 1 is we use our software and IoT sensors so we can have a detailed, granular understanding of temperature profiles of the fish from the time they leave the sea until they're packaged. The second part is we use our blockchain infrastructure and specific formatting of data so that we can secure traceability compliance for our customers. And the third part is we take all that information and using a bit of predictive microbiology and a lot of other nice tools, we can predict the quality and the shelf-life of the specific fish. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much. All of you are contributing to the sustainability coming in the sector. And since we are talking about small-scale aquaculture, I'd like you to comment on both on the status quo in the industry and the role of sustainability, both today but also tomorrow. How can we include it more and more in the sector? Starting perhaps with you this time. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Well, we are now the Greek aquaculture, but also Mediterranean aquaculture is in an area that we face some changes. There are some turbulent, let's say, period. There's a turbulent period that the one that we live. But to be honest, as I told you, because of my long experience in this sector, it's something that we have faced it. We have faced it also sometimes more during the last 25 and 30 years since the establishment of this sector. I think the main gap that we have to fill out is how we are going to manage and to understand our business better, especially as a capital-intensive business and way of production. And this is something that we have to fill out in this period and also for the years to come. So far, all those years, we have focused very much on main technological, let's say, challenges, and that we have overcome these challenges all those years. For this reason, we have succeeded to have a very solid production of marine farms in Greece, but also in Mediterranean, and very high value, with a very high value product, and a very very secure and safe product from safety point of view, as Mrs. Damanaki also described before. Although that this is a very new sector, we are living in the prehistory of marine aquaculture as a humanity, and we strongly believe that we do our best in order to establish solid processes for this sector to expand further.
Thank you so much. And you? How do you see the status?
The funny thing is that we're talking about aquaculture and how successful aquaculture is, but aquaculture is still depending on fisheries. We are fishing fish in order to feed the fish. So we need a new platform that would simulate better the feed production. And if we want to expand to the aquatic, and this is what we have to do, because we are expecting 2 billion people more, maybe a little less, but actually it will be something like that until the end of the century. So we need resources, we need food. We have somehow exploited very well the terrestrial environment. Now we have to expand into the aquatic. And in order to expand into the aquatic, we have to do what we have done in the terrestrial environment. We have to domesticate photosynthesis. This is how we started, okay? In this manner, as Leonidas said, we stood where we have been standing in Mesopotamia 10,000 years ago, okay? In talking about photosynthesis. And talking about photosynthesis in the aquatic, this means algae, this means microalgae and seaweeds. I was part and quite involved in the beginning of, let's say, the early days of the aquaculture in Greece. Fish aquaculture, as we know it today, started in the 80s. Around 89 or so, we had the first 100 tons of fish. Now we have much more than that. And if we would like, if we solve the business issue, then we can feed with fish more than the Mediterranean, we can expand. But the great success was that Greece could produce fingerlings, could produce fry, and domestic in our country. And this was done by working with live food, because fry, the little fish, needs live food, being phytoplankton and zooplankton. So we had to raise also phytoplankton and zooplankton. So this is the basis. And this is what we have to expand in the future. This is, I think, the real thing. We can do it with microalgae or macroalgae, but the essential thing is to find alternatives for fish meal and fish oil, especially for fish oil, because fish oil is something that we cannot really replace with something else. Fish meal, okay, we do with peas, chickpeas, you know, things like that. But, okay, salmon is a little bit more vegetarian nowadays. But our fish here in Greece, they are not so much vegetarian, and we need to feed them with something more, you know, substantial. I think this is where we have to go, and this is something that is on the agenda for the years to come. And we have to step on the success of spirulina in Europe, which is freshwater microalga that can be also, we have done it, we can raise it also in marine water, but also seaweeds. Now, for seaweeds, Mediterranean is not so much a good environment because it is very oligotrophic, but we still have the fish. We can go next to the fish and install integrated multitrophic aquaculture units and feed the fish and have also... I would like to say a few more things about that, but in the second
We'll
round.
come back to you, Mr. Jovenis. Thank you so much. Mr. Stezos, what's your take?
Maybe I can use oh, actually it works now, okay. So I would like to approach the answer from a different perspective, not from the pre-harvest, but rather on the post-harvest approach. And of course, from my background, which is more software and technology related. So what do I see the trends and emphasis? And I would like those trends, probably it's closer near term than it's short term, than it's not that far away. I see three trends. And the first trend is data standardization and traceability sharing. So what do I mean by that? It's important that all the information that aquacultures collect from their operations is standardized in such a way so that it's easier for it to be shared across down the value chain. So you can easily share it to your distributor, and the distributor can easily share it to the retailer, the supermarket, so that there is visibility across the value chain. So that means that the way not only you capture the information, but it's standardized. And we can see that clearly from initiatives right now. The most prominent one is in the US, FDA's FSMA 204, that requires that from next year, all seafood sold, regardless if that's in the supermarket or if that is on a restaurant, will require to have a traceability certificate so that you know exactly provenance and details and all the hands chains. So number one, I would say again, is data standardization, the way you capture information, how you store it, and also traceability sharing so all parties can sell the information. The second part is, and again, technology is helping us these days, is making sure that our ability to collect more information about your operations, leveraging IoT and big data and AI so that you can not only have better understanding of how everything works so you can improve it, but also have the relevant reports so that it's actionable. And the third part, the third trend I see is again, and that's a tough one because it's consumer engagement. So in a way, because consumers these days need and want to know more about the food they consume, and they also are more sustainability conscious, they're conscious about their environment. So the ability to engage with consumers is an important trait for aquacultures.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tezos, and you covered partially something I would like to ask next, coming back to Mr. Papacharisis perhaps, about your insights on some quick fixes or potential changes that could transform the sector and be adapted easily.
Well, I think that there are major trends that the sector has to answer, and these trends is the first is the change on legislation and the legislative framework, the big wave of new legislation that is created under the new Green Deal, and how this affects across numerous topics all the production in Europe. And we will see there are new requirements for reporting, new requirements for setting targets for lower carbon footprint, new requirements for coming from the farm to fork strategy, and especially for animals' welfare, and new level of health level for animals that we farm in Europe. The second big trend is always the challenges that we face with the food that is imported from third countries. There's a big competition, and so far Europeans successfully, in some occasions, unsuccessfully in other occasions, have faced this competition. Always there is a trend in Europe and at local level for food produced at local level, but having in our minds the crisis, the economic crisis, all the consumers are looking for to substitute their meals with lower price alternatives. And the third big trend that will change the sector is the technological changes, big changes, enormous availability of new technology, as Mr. Vlasis told you already about that. Is something that will change the way that we farm animals, that we farm even plants, and all these will affect the way that we plan and we do our business. I think this is the main trends for the years to come.
Okay, thank you so much. Mr. Jovenis, would you like to add perhaps?
Yeah. Okay, I talk more about the basis, which is the algae. And we have also the ability to feed the fish also to feed the people that they don't like to eat fish or meat. I'm talking about the vegans and the vegetarians, okay? So, which is a big trend now. But in order to get Europe and Mediterranean into this industry, because this industry is, I have to say that seaweeds are the biggest mariculture. It's the biggest aquaculture in the marine water globally. It produces about 40 million tons. If you compare it with salmon, which is the most successful fish, which is about 2 million, around 2 million, a little bit more than 2 million, then you understand the dimension. 5%. Yes, but the thing, and also, if you see what is the most successful animal, we are talking about in aquaculture, it's mollusks, that they eat phytoplankton, that they eat algae. Okay, so this is one of the trends. Now, European Union is understanding that we are left behind, much behind. I mean, European Union is producing 1% of these 40 million tons of seaweeds, okay, and a little bit more than, less than that in small microalgae. They are trying now to change that. So a lot of money they are going to be invested into these trends, that they are more important now. There are a lot of initiatives that they are supporting this, and we hope that we will be in the verge of changes, that they will change also aquaculture as we know it. They will make it more successful and more sustainable. Because if you want to do organic fish, for instance, then you have to feed them with sustainable fish feeds. And there is nothing more sustainable than the basis, which is algae and especially seaweeds. But the thing is that we are facing a lot of problems. Legislation is one of the biggest, because we have the biggest problem is who owns the sea, who can expand, who can get permits, who is going to do it, the fishermen, the aquaculturists, the tourism sector. It's a little bit tricky, this. Then we have the novel food catalog. European Union, especially this European Food Safety Agency, is taking very strict measures. So nowadays only 2 microalgae species are allowed to be consumed in European Union, and European Union is somehow influencing a lot in the region. Not to say that the FDA is behind, okay, they are the same strict. So only 2 species in Europe, and for seaweeds, very few. And of these very few, only 1 in Mediterranean. Okay, it's alba. So we have also problems in this way. But I am very confident that we will overpass this for 2 reasons. The first reason is that necessity is driving force. And necessity brings business and money, and money means profit, and I think this is a very profitable sector, and this will prevail at the end and make things smooth and work better. Another thing that we in the academic circles in the past we were talking about, and now it becomes a trend, is the location of aquaculture. Okay, people think that we have to expand aquaculture in the open waters, to go really offshore, but we have to, in the Mediterranean, we have to first settle the boundaries between the different water bodies, okay? And the next thing is that we need to also alleviate the pressure from the shore and go inshore for hatcheries, and a lot of activities can be done inshore. And algae can help also in this direction. And also they can help in the direction of the new menace that aquaculture is facing, and this is disease. Nowadays, that expansion of aquaculture has made it more vulnerable to species that they think that it is very nice opportunity to feed themselves on the aquaculture product. Now we have diseases that they are very difficult to be dealt with, and there are also nice technologies that they come with green waters and quorum sensing that they come from algae, that they may save the game at the end for the aquaculture.
Of course, changes bring challenges as well. Mr. Tezos, would you like to add something here, or I may proceed with the last question?
Well, I think I covered the trends in my previous answer, so
you definitely did.
that's okay.
So let me start with you. Of course, technology will play a key role in how things progress in this industry as well. I would like to ask you either where do you see the sector in 10 years, what practices will be established, or if you picked one thing we are doing great here in Greece and we could export it, or something that is being done in a great way abroad and could be important in our policy, in our how the structure of the industry is, what would you suggest? You select the question.
So, where do I see the industry in 10 years? I think it's going to be a lot more. I think it's a combination. I'm going to do a synthesis of everything discussed. So I'm sure there's going to be pre-harvest and feeding, as well as a lot of aquacultures that are IMTA or RAS that are not so parts of the aquaculture will not be constrained by the sea. There will be inland, and other parts will be in the sea. So there will be more synergies across the aquaculture value chain. Again, technology, I'm biased because that's my background, so I'm sure it's going to be a lot of IoT, a lot of AI. That's my go-to. But I believe that we need that additional business intelligence in order for us to be able to make the right decisions, know where to ship, know when to harvest, better predict when we should be feeding. That will be integral to optimizing yield, and that will be integral also to reducing food losses in the future. So thank you for that.
Thank you so much. Mr. Papacharisis?
Well, this is a challenging question, as always, but it's expected. Well, I believe that in the next 10 years, I don't expect too many big difference in terms of volumes, let's say, that we produce in Europe. For sure, the business expected to be much more integrated. The big production companies and corporates will be much more integrated in order to overcome the competition and also to serve better their value chains. I expect to see many more startups or new production for new species. Could be algae, could be seaweeds, could be some new species, maybe. This is also will be a trend. Too many developments in biotechnology aspects. Combination of biology and technologies, could be in health of animals, could be for new production systems. For sure, will be much more sustainable compared to what we do today, because this is the pressure. It's coming from the legislation, and this is not only for the European, the companies that are located in Europe. Will be also for all these companies that they are willing to sell to the European market, because the legislation affects also them. So I'm positive about the future, and I believe that aquaculture for sure is here to stay and will be part of the solution for feeding the population, the humanity, but also the Europeans in the years to come, and having in our minds all challenges that we face, like wars, pandemics, and all these crises. Production at local level of food is a strategy. It provides resilience to countries and to populations, and this is here to stay. And just to conclude, because I would like also to share this with you, it's of great importance for Greece and the recognition coming from European Union as one of the major producing countries of aquaculture species. The designation of European Center for Aquatic Animals Welfare in University of Crete since the beginning of 2024 is a great honor for the country and also for the researchers in this topic, that they have this privilege to be the major consultation team for welfare aspects of aquatic organisms farming for whole Europe, and this will be driven by the University of Crete.
Amazing distinction. Thank you so much. And you, Mr. Giovannis?
Well, aquaculture started by biologists in 70s, 80s. Then engineers came in, because you can't have a mature industry without the engineers, okay? And now that I see that software engineers also are in, now I am confident that we are in the right track. Okay, we are going somewhere. The next thing is that algae and fish and all these that we are talking about, they are going to be here for sure. It doesn't matter how they are going to be dealt in the business level, but they are going to be here because it is a necessity. One of the necessities is, for instance, fish oil, that it's becoming very important in medical terms, and it's not only fish but also algae that they produce it, so we have more products to come. And how I see it in the future, I see more integration, more fish cages with the seaweeds, that they are alleviating the pollution pressure, and they are forcing sustainability at the same time. What I see is also that we have to educate the public, because the public not only does not eat algae in Europe, it does not eat fish in Europe, okay, apart from a few places next to the sea. Okay, so we need to reinforce the value chain and also make aware the public about our products. And once this confidence between the public, the customers and the industry is really established, I think that things will develop, because we have also to develop the product. The fish, the shrimps, they are wild for the moment. Nothing in terrestrial environment is wild anymore. We don't eat wild chicken or wild tomatoes, okay? So this is the things to come, and they are coming very fast, believe me. I am glad that Greece is, and Mediterranean in general, are in the center, in the epicenter of these things that they are to come.
We're proud of it. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, gentlemen. It was a great panel. I enjoyed it. Hope you do. You did as well. Thank you so much. Antonis, back to you.